Hello my fellow admins and welcome to another episode of Jira Guides. Void.admin here, and for this video I prepared you a guide on how you can install Jira Software on Linux. So let's start. So as you can see here on my screen, I have my Linux environment prepared for the session today. So this is like a precondition for in order to install Jira Software on Linux, you need to have a Linux environment prepared on your machine. So I'm using Windows specifically, so if you don't know how you can install a Linux environment on your Windows, you can check my previous YouTube video on how you can install a Linux environment on a virtual machine. So I'm using the Oracle virtual machine as an Ubuntu and I'm using a Ubuntu Linux version, as you can see here on my screen. So go check my previous video. I also link it down below of this video, so you have all the steps prepared in order to follow up with this guide today. So as you can see, we have everything prepared, so we are going to start. So as a prerequisite, before starting with the installation of Jira Software, we need a Java Open JDK installed on our Linux environment, and also we need to install MySQL. But first, let's go with Java. So in order to install Java, first of all, we need to add a sudo apt update for our Linux. So this is our first command here. So we need to type also the password usually on first time when you're installing something, and we need to wait here, and it's done. So now we can check our Java version here. So to see if we already have a Java version installed on our Linux environment, so we can check with this command. And as you can see, we have command Java not found, but we can install it. Let's install the GRE package. So now we have sudo install default and -GRE, and now let's install this. Oh, I just missed something here. Oh, it's sudo apt, sorry. So it's sudo apt install default GRE. Mistakes were made, so now we just do we want to continue, we need to just press I and just hit enter. Now we need to wait for it to install. So now it's installed. We can check our Java version now, so we can check with the history of our commands, and you can use the up arrow from your keyboard in order to go previously of your history of your Linux commands. And now we can check Java version, and it was installed our default GRE package. And now we can also sudo apt install the JDK package, the default JDK package, and again Y, and we need to also wait here, so the open JDK 11 it will be installed. So now this is also done, and now we can check the Javac version to see if it was installed. So we have Javac 11.0.17 here installed, and we are done with this prerequisite before going to the installation of Jira Software. But let's not forget about our installation of our own database, and we'll use MySQL this time. So for this Jira installation for today, we'll not use the own built-in database from Jira. We'll use our own database, which is we'll go with MySQL. So first of all, we need to download the repository, so we'll use the curl command here. So I prepared previously for the purpose of this video, just not to lose time, I prepared all the commands in a notepad separately. So I'm going just to paste them all here, so you can just see yourself and read the commands. And don't forget that I'll just paste every commands that I did here in a separate notepad, maybe in Git or something, so you can just copy paste from that and just follow up the video. So now we have here sudo curl with the with the repository that we need to download. So this is the version, the MySQL apt config. So if you don't know actually the version, if you are installing this in the future, and this my video is basically old and there are like newer version of this apt config, you can go in this dev.mysql.downloads /download/repo/apt, and here you can see basically the latest version of this MySQL apt config, and you can change it accordingly. So now we can hit enter here, and basically we are done with this step. So the next step is to check, to confirm that you have downloaded using the ls command. So ls-l, and we can see here that we have this downloaded here, so with red. So now the second step is to install my SQL repository package, and we are using the following command, using the dpkg package tool. So this how the command is look like, sudo dpkg-i and the previously downloaded package here. So we just hit enter, and now we are prompted with this new UI here, and we need to go and click on this question, which MySQL product do you wish to configure. We just go with the OK thing here, and we just hit it, and now everything is okay. So we can go to the next step. So next step, we need to update the Ubuntu system, and we just hit it with a sudo apt update, and we just let it run here. So now we are done here, and the next one is to install the MySQL server and client, and we'll use the following command here, sudo apt install MySQL server, and we just hit enter, and now we are prompted with the confirmation here, and we will just confirm it. And now basically we have the new UI when we need to add and to enter our root password, and I will just type the password here and just go with the down arrow to the OK here and just click OK. And now we need to re-enter just to confirm our password. And now we have the confirmation of our password. Usually it goes with use strong password encryption recommend, and you're just clicking OK here. Okay, now it's done, and to confirm that we have successfully installed MySQL server run, we can type the following command, mysql space and minus capital V, and we can see here that we have 8.0.31 version of MySQL for Linux, and if we want basically to display more information here, we can go with the following command, sudo mysql admin and hit space minus it was u I think, and root and minus p not o and space version, and we need to hit the password here. And now you can see here we have like more information on our MySQL admin version here. So basically have more information. So the next step is to install and to secure MySQL installation, but because by default MySQL is insecure, and therefore you need to secure the database server. So we need to run the following command, which is sudo mysql and this bottom line here, secure, and again installation. And we need to add the password for the root user that we previously did. And now you are prompted with this how it's called, these questions. So you need to validate the password component, and for this you need to press Y. And the next step is what kind of level of the password, and you just type here 2 and just press enter. And for basically they recognize that maybe you don't use like a super strong password, and they're prompted with asking you if you want to change the root password, but you just type "and" here just to say that you don't want this, and you just type no, and now you have like a like you'll be prompted with 4 questions, and for every questions you need to just say yes, and here remove anonymous users, you just press Y, disallow root login remotely, Y, remove test database and access to it, Y, and the latest one is reload privilege tables now, and you just press Y, and all done. Now you are done with the how it's called, the securing of MySQL installation. So now you for the next step you need to manage MySQL serving using systemd. So basically you will have the following command: sudo system ctl, I think it was system ctl, and status MySQL. And now you can see that your MySQL service runs. So now we need to log in as a root user to MySQL. So basically we need to how it's called, to create the database, and we just have this MySQL minus u root p here, and we need to enter the password and the password here. And now we just enter in the database just to create the how it's called, the database and the Jira users. And let's say that so I have here prepared, so we'll create database, like I just use the simple thing Jira underscore and db from database, and we just create database here, and we just create enter, everything is fine. And now basically you need this is like a bigger command here, because we need to create the user, but also we need to identify the user with a password. So you'll need this password when you are configuring the user of this database in Jira. So I just typed here a password just to be like a strong, let's say, password. So the command is create user, and in this underscore like quotes, single quotes, you have Jira underscore user, which is like normal users, and the local host, and it's identified by a password. So here you need to type your password between these single commas. So my password here that I use is void.admin with capital V and $100. So this is my password here that I will be using for this database, and I will just hit enter here. So query okay, everything is good. So now we need to grant how it's called, as we created the new user for Jira in the database, we need to grant all privilege to this Jira user in order to access this Jira database. So we have the following command: it's grant all privilege on Jira database and to the Jira user, and we just hit enter, and the query it's okay, everything is good. So to wrap this up, we need to flush the privileges, and we have a simple flush privileges here, and we just hit enter and query okay, flush privileges, and now we just type quit. So we'll quit this MySQL database that we entered with the root user. And now we are back on the server. As you can see, we have a nice message of bye, and everything is perfect now. So now what we need to do, as you can see here, we are in the void. This is like my user, but we need to go in the root user, and we'll use the next command, which is sudo space minus I. And basically, as you can see, it switched from void around void server Jira to root. So basically we are not in our user anymore, we are in the root. So you can see it changed from a $sign to a hashtag here, let's say like this. And now we can continue with the steps in order to install Jira, as we have it's not like many steps here, but we have some steps with some little steps inside those. So here, don't forget that we need to switch to the root user before going to the next step. So now we need to download Jira and assign the necessary permissions here. So we need to download the file using the wget command. So I'm going to show you how the command is looking. So for this session today, I used the following version of Jira. So today as we speak, there is the 9 point something version of Jira Software, but I'm using the long-term support of 8.20 as it's much easier here and it's like much smoother for me, and I will use this. If you want to change your Jira Software version, you can just change from this download link. This is 8.20.15 on 64. So you just change the number here. So now I'll just hit enter, and now it's connecting and it's basically downloading Jira. So now it's done. We downloaded Jira, and now we need to give permissions to assign basically the execute permission to this binary file that we downloaded, and we have this command here, which is chmod, which gives the permission, and we have the execute permission a plus x and the binary file that we downloaded here. And basically this is how we give execute permission. And to check this, you can just type ls space minus LA, and now you can, if you can see this binary file, this Atlassian Jira Software, if you can see it with green, it's perfect. You assign it the execute permission. If you cannot see it with green, it's a problem. You need to double check it to see if your above command is it's the correct one. So now with the execute permission assigned, we can run the binary file here. So in order to do this, we have this command. It's / the binary file that we gave the execute permissions, and we could not find the phone.config, which is required to use the OpenJDK, and we need to press enter in order to be installed. And now it's processing. So now we just need to press enter, and now basically it requires to have like express installation, which is 1, or a custom installation, or an upgrade of existing Jira installation, but we will choose 2 here. So you type 2 from the keyboard, as we need the custom installation. So you click enter after you press the 2 from the keyboard, and now we need to select the folder in which you will install your Jira Software. So where should you install Jira Software? It's opt/atlassian/Jira, and we just hit enter here. The default location is the var/atlassian application data and/Jira. This is correct, and you just press enter, and now you have this the default port. So usually I go with 1, which is the recommended one, and you just click enter. And now basically you need to say that you want to install Jira service as a service, and we just type from the keyboard Y, and you just hit enter. And now you want to install it, yes, and you just press enter, and now it's installing and it's extracting basically the files, and after that installing it. And now we are prompted with start Jira Software. Now we hit enter. And before we hit enter, we need to press Y and then enter. So as you can see, we have our how it's called, our message that the installation of Jira Software is complete, and it's now ready to be accessed via browser. Before we go in that step in the UI, we have more steps here, as we need to open the Jira ports, and basically to successfully access and configure Jira on web console, we need to open a few ports on the firewall that will basically enable us to access Jira. So if these ports are not installed, we can go with this command here, apt install and UFW here, and we just click enter, and that's it says that this is already in the newest version of this build and is set manually installed. But after we checked this, we can proceed to open the 88 ports, for example, 81 ports, 81 ports, and also the 8005 ports. So we have multiple commands here. This is the one for 81, and the rules were updated. We have the next one, which is the same, but it's for 8005 to open also this, and we have the one with 8080, which we'll use in the future. And now we need to also enable the firewall for the rules in order to have effect, and what we did here, and we just enable, proceed with operation, yes, and the firewall is active and enabled on your on system startup. So now you can also check the status, and we can check using this command, UFW status, and as you can see here that we have the following ports that we enabled before anywhere, and the action is allow here. As you can see, I have the new window here. Let's make it better here to see. So in order to access this window, as you can see here, we need to add, so before we go in the web browser, we need to access basically the how it's called, the IP address of your basically your internet. So I have like a dynamic IP address, so it's changing every time. So every time I'm accessing my Jira, I need to access my different IP here. So here it's 192.168 and .1 and .148. Actually, it was changed previously, so now I need to go with 2.8080, and now if we wait, as you can see, we are in the Jira setup here, so we can set up our Jira. So basically here what we need to do is to set it up for ourselves. So you don't want to let it choose for you how we can set it up. We need to set it up ourselves. So this is the second option here, and we just click next. So if you already did these steps, you know how to do it, but I want to go in the fully installation of this Jira environment. So basically you are accessing your Linux environment and your Jira that is installed on that Linux environment from Windows. So that's why you need to put like this IP address here, and this is your local host. And the database connection, as I said, we have our MySQL, which is our own database here. But now actually we need to go back, and because we have like a MySQL here, which requires that downloaded the MySQL 8 driver. We did this, but we need to download the driver, and we need to go back to the prompt here. So we are again here. So now we need to get the MySQL connector here, because we didn't do that. I showed you that you can access your Jira startup there, but we also want to connect to your own database, which we configured with MySQL. So now basically we have this command that we are using the wget command, and so I can go and hit enter here, and as you can see, I downloaded the MySQL driver. And now the next command here is to unzip once you download it, and we can go and unzip it. I think I don't have the unzip, and I need to use as to install apt unzip. Yeah. So I was right here. So if you don't have this installed on your Linux environment, you just go with apt install and unzip in order to install unzip. And now you can go previously using the previous command from history, using the up arrow from your keyboard, and go with unzip, which is to unzip the MySQL connector Java. And now we just unzip it. And next we need to actually you need to navigate to your MySQL connector Java directory and copy the jar file to the path of Jira, which is opt atlassian Jira, and we need to go in the libraries here in /lib here, and we need to navigate in this connector, and we just, let's see where we are. So we are in root, and we need to go in the MySQL connector. So we go in the MySQL connector. So now we are inside the MySQL connector here, and inside this connector we just copy how it's called, the jar connector here. So we can also check here where we are. So you can see that we are inside the this directory. So we have the jar file present here. So now we just use the Linux command here in order to copy this jar to the lib directory from opt atlassian Jira, and you just hit enter, and now you can go back. And actually you can check the so you cd here, and now we are back, and now we can check actually to see if the mysql.jar is in this location. So as you can see, so we have here, so you can see that the connector that we copied, it's in this directory. So now everything is good. So now we can restart Jira using the following commands. So basically we have Jira that is already running, as you saw it in the browser there. So we need to use this command in order to stop it. And now the Tomcat server is stopped, and now we can start it back in. So we'll use the same command, but this time is with Jira start. And now Tomcat has started. So now we can head back to our browser, and we need to fill in the details on this. Where is the? Let's find it. I think I lost it. No, I don't lost it. It's here. So I just want now just to refresh our page, as I'm thinking that now the database needs to be refreshed. So as you can already saw it here, we have the database setup and the connection of this database. We are choosing our own database, and we used MySQL 8.0, so we'll use it here. And now basically we need to give like a host name, so localhost here. We leave the port 3306 here, and I don't know if you remember, but we created like a database and also a username for the database. So we had here Jira _db. If you gave your database another name rather than this, just please fill in with your database name here that you created previously, and you just also type here the database. I used like a simple methodology with db and user here. So for user I have Jira _user here. So here the password, you need to access the password that you chose previously. So let's see if I can find it here. So you know that the point when you created the user, you had your password, and my password was void.admin $100. So remember that you need here to copy that password that you created with your user in MySQL when you created the database and the user. And now we can test the connection, and voila, the database connection test was successfully. So you have this button here, test connection. If everything was okay, you just click next here, And now we have, so it may take a minute to set up the database, so we need to wait here. So now the next step is to set up our application properties, as the database was connected successfully here, and here we don't need this. So now we have the next steps here to give the application of title of our application. I'll just put it here like Jira Void, and the mode is private, and here we have the base URL that we are going to use, and we hit next. And now we need to specify our license key. So in order to generate a new trial license, you can go in this in your account, and you can go in licenses, and now you just click a new trial license, and you will be prompted with for which product you need the license, and you just hit with Jira Software. And now we are choosing Jira Software Data Center. We selected, we have our organization here, and you need to generate it for your server ID. You just copy your server ID here, and now you generate the license. And as you can see, it generated a new license for this specific server ID. So you just copy it here, and you just paste the license key here, and now it will configure your license this installation step, and now we need to wait again. So now we are in the step of setting up our administrator account. So I will just type here the full name. I will just use this one. I'm going to use my business email address here, and for sure I will use the username, which, let's say, void.admin, and now just type a simple password here, and we just hit next, and we configure our email notifications later. We don't do it now, and we just click finish. And now we need again to wait a bit for the final step of our Jira installation to be finished. So now we are prompted with the welcoming message of your administration account. So now we are choosing our language, and basically you can choose your avatar, and we have, voila, our Jira software installed. And now just like to create like a Scrum project here, let's say Scrum, like a base Scrum, and we just submit, and we create a new project. So you can see Jira is running perfectly on your Linux environment, and which you installed on your machine. So as you can see here, we have everything prepared, and Jira is running on a separate Linux environment, and you are just basically accessing it from a Windows browser. So yeah, we are done with this session, and basically that was it. So that was it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on my channel, as it will be really helpful. And if you liked this video, like it, and I shall see you in the next Jira guide. Peace!